In the legal world, there is a combination of forces that feed a corrupt and suffocating legal system for attorneys. Law schools, law professionals, judges, and even the firms themselves for whom you work create a system, a matrix, if you will, that is nothing like what you thought when you passed the bar exam. The purpose of this podcast is to help you escape this legal matrix, leading you out of the proverbial desert to be free of the bondage of the matrix. Hosted by Bryce D. Nyer, attorney at law with over 30 years experience in the trenches of civil and criminal litigation at the state, federal, and international levels. He's a highly accomplished and resourceful legal professional, a true master of his craft, and he's here to help you get your life back. Here's your host, Bryce D. Nyer.
Hey, this is Bryce D. Nyer coming at you from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg, now called Fort Liberty, but I will never call it that. It's Fort Bragg, always to me. So we're here for another episode of Escape the Legal Matrix, an attorney's escape. Yes, fleeing from what? From legal bondage. And what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about don't quit. Don't quit. Don't ever quit. Now, I can tell you that in my life, there have been times, plenty of them, that I have wanted to quit. Many things. Certain sports, certain subjects, certain events, and during my lifetime, I did. And I found that those events were not necessarily for old ish here, me. But here in the legal profession, in law school, you do have choices. For example, I'm going to sip on this great green tea right here. It's really, really good. Okay, it's really good. Anyway, getting back to not quitting, when you go to law school, you have a choice. You can stay or you can quit. Now, during the first week, you'll find, if you're a brand new law student, that many people will quit. That's not what they thought it would be. It's not undergraduate. It's complete apples and oranges. It's night and day. And there is no undergraduate course whatsoever that will prepare you for law school. It just doesn't exist. So when people say, I'm a pre-law major, what does that mean? What does that mean? Because to me, there is no such thing as a pre-law major. It just doesn't exist. Law school courses and the way that they teach, it's just not even the same. It's not the same as undergraduate at all. So in law school, again, you're going to have that choice, stay, quit, graduate, take the bar, not take the bar. And when you're studying for the bar, you're going to feel like, man, I just want to quit. I can't stand to study another day. I can't stand to pick up the book another day. I just can't do it. But if you don't do it, and if you do quit studying, if you do quit preparing, your chances of successfully passing the bar exam are going to be relatively low. Low. Say it. Low. Yes. And you could get that letter that says, so sorry, you have failed the bar exam. And that kind of letter sucks. Now, once you get into private practice and you're an associate working for somebody else, a lot of associates, they'll stay for a little bit of time at most of the law firms. And after a while, they get disillusioned, they get tired, they get burned out, and they do quit. Some of them actually quit the legal profession entirely. I'm constantly amazed that when I go online and I Google sometimes about, what's going on in the legal profession, how people are feeling, that some of the people just said, I didn't just shift jobs. I completely quit the legal profession. I'm not doing anything in it. Nothing. I mean, they're in totally different industries, occupations, and their responses and their statements were, it was just wrecking and ruining my health, my mental health, my emotional health, and my physical health. And I couldn't stand it anymore. And when you're in that type of situation, I can completely understand. I don't know if it's necessarily that you're quitting. I think it's you're coming to a realization of truth of this is not what you want. Because remember what I said episodes ago. The better question always is, what do you want? You have to look in the mirror and say, what do I want? And you have to answer that question truthfully and honestly, because then it eliminates everything else, because everything else is what you don't want. So I see all too often with my colleagues, they really want to quit, but they don't know how to quit. And they don't know where to go. They don't know what their impossible game is. They don't have any plan, any detailed plan of what they would do. And this has happened in my life too. There have been many times that I have just been so burned out, so fed up with the legal profession that I just started looking for ways out. I started looking for state jobs, federal jobs, whether they were legally related or not, writing a book. I mean, I was just looking to escape any way I could. And it's a lot harder to get out than you think. Now, it's a little bit easier if you're single and you obviously don't have any children and any other major financial responsibilities. It can be somewhat easier to quit and to completely start over. But then there's the other aspect of maybe not quitting, of maybe doing a complete shift, a complete transformation in what you do. I too have come to this crossroads in my life and in my legal career, and I decided that I would commence building what is called Legal Warrior. And Legal Warrior is designed and being built to give law students and lawyers what? Freedom. That's what. Freedom to open, to own, to operate, to lead their own law firms so that they at some point have complete fulfillment that they don't want to quit. Because remember what I said before as well about the 5 domains of body, of being, of balance, of business, and fulfillment, okay? And passion fuels the domains. Passion fuels the domains. And if you don't have passion, you'll never have fulfillment. And then eventually you will quit. It's like I see all these people all the time buying exercise equipment. And I purchased a bunch of exercise equipment too. And it's great for the first couple of weeks. You're all motivated, rah, I'm going to work out, blah, blah, blah. And then after a while, you realize something. It requires work. It requires effort. And it requires a process which involves pain. And then most people, more often than not, they quit. And they quit because there is no fulfillment and they're not embracing the process. In being, many get disappointed or disillusioned when they feel that God does not give them everything they want or they don't get what they think they deserve from God and things become a little bit too rough. Well, God never promised everybody, an easy life. He never said that. He never said it. He said there would be challenges, and there are. And challenges and obstacles make a person rise to the occasion. If you read the Bible, it's filled with all kinds of criminal conduct in the Bible. There are no saints really in the Bible, well, except for Jesus. But many of the men and women you see in the Bible, they did horrible things, from murder to lying to adultery to, you name it, they did it. And many of them went through a process and a pain, and they did not quit. They fought the good fight. And to them, the ultimate victory was what? It was salvation. And many people and law students and lawyers today, some of them may or may not have religious beliefs, but they seem to think that God is their blank check to the prosperity gospel, so to speak. And they give up on God. God doesn't give up on us. We give up on God. And then most of the time we give up on ourselves. When we get to the domain of balance, we become as law students, especially in law school, you're just studying all the time. And you're trying to get class rank and make law review and all that crap that really doesn't matter. And then ultimately you figured out, in your third year that look, all I'm concerned about is passing the bar exam and having employment and being able to pay my bills. But along this process in law school, and then ultimately when you get into private practice, your balance starts to fade away. It gets eaten away by what? The legal matrix. Because the legal matrix is a jealous mistress. It wants to consume every single waking moment of your life. And it does not give mercy. It gives no quarter. It doesn't care. It has no soul. It has no sole purpose. Its only purpose is to wreak havoc and destroy and consume. It is selfish and narcissistic. And so many people, many lawyers, they quit. They quit the war for their balance. They give up on their marriages. They give up on their boyfriends. They give up on their girlfriends. They give up on their relationships with their children, with their siblings, with their parents, with their friends, with their colleagues. And they just give up because they're so what? They're so fatigued. They're so tired. They're constantly colliding. They're constantly at war. And they're at war with who? They're at war with the legal matrix. They're at war with their clients. They're at war with their staff. They're at war with the judges. They're at war with the opposing counsel. And mostly, they're at war with themselves. And they quit. They just quit trying to seek balance. I mean, that happened to me. It happened to me in my life. I just was so consumed about, working and just not wanting to face the pits in my life and not wanting to go home and not wanting to deal with the hell that was going on in my life that I just almost worked myself to death. And balance just didn't seem to matter. I mean, it was another excuse. I don't drive to the coast. I don't have time to go watch a movie. I don't have time to I don't have time to do this, that. And it was because I quit. I gave up. Until one day, I'm like, no, we're going to course correct, and I'm going to reclaim my balance. I'm going to reclaim it. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to draw lines in the sand. I'm going to give myself space to pursue who? To pursue yourself. To pursue, in my case, me. And I quit giving so much of myself to everybody else and everything else. I finally gave it all back to me. My time, my space, my emotional well-being, my mental well-being, my physical well-being. And that's what you have to do in balance. When you get to the domain of business, this is the big one. See, here in Legal Warrior, which I'm building, and escaping the legal matrix, the impossible game, the mission, the ultimate end game is for you to have freedom, for you to have this courage to move forward, to be bold, and to own and to operate and to lead your own law firm. That's freedom. Now, it comes again with greater responsibility because you're accountable for what you do or fail to do, and it all falls on you. But it's a process, and there's pain, but it's a good pain. It's a good pain to rise as a king or queen in your industry, to create something from nothing that is so formidable, that lives and operates in truth, just like you will as a legal warrior, that you're unstoppable, that you have a sole purpose. But if you quit, it will never happen. It will never happen. There are people across the world right now that feel there's nothing, there's just no hope, and they're quitting. And understandably so, if you look at it from a totally human point of view, they're facing insurmountable odds. Insurmountable odds. And in the legal profession, as a young lawyer, you will face insurmountable odds. You will be asked to make decisions. You will be asked to do things that you may not want to do. And there will become a time when you will look in the mirror and you'll just question everything you're doing, everything you're saying, everything that you're thinking. And those words of the phrase of like, God, I just want to quit. I just don't want to do this anymore. And there were times in my life that I wanted to just get in my truck, get my dog, and drive to the west coast of the United States, the Pacific Ocean. Just go. Just drive across the country, meet new people that I did not even know, just to see new places, meet these new people, have different conversations, and just quit the legal profession altogether. And I did. And I would go to bed at night and I would sit there and I'd be like, what would it be like if I could just walk away from all of it? Just walk away from it. But here's the thing. The problem with that, when you quit, and you walk away is you still take you with you. The same strengths, the same weaknesses, they follow you. And if you do go into another occupation or another industry, and there's nothing wrong with that, you have to have a skill set and a phraseology, a mindset that you can't just quit every time things get rough. You just can't do that. Now, a lot of people, say in marriage, oh, you shouldn't quit, blah, 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 you're a quitter. Well, in marriage, sometimes we marry the wrong people. And we've had this discussion on previous episodes. And sometimes it's so toxic, you can't, because if you do stay in a situation or an occupation or with a specific person, you could end up destroying yourself. And that's clearly something that you do not want to ever do. So there are times when quitting is not surrendering. Sometimes quitting is just, again, it's shifting to someone else or to something else and a complete transformation of who you are. And that is one of the purposes of Legal Warrior 2, to do a complete transformation. I'm not telling you something that I'm not doing myself. I look at my body, I'm like, I'm not satisfied. I don't want to quit. I want to work out. I look at being and I'm like, I don't want to surrender to the dark side, to evil, to sin, and I pursue God in a totally different way than most would think. When I look at balance, I don't want to quit. I want to go to the beach. I want to, go somewhere I've never been. I want to meet people that I've never met. I want to go swimming in the ocean again. I want to see friends that I haven't seen for so long and loved ones I haven't seen for so long. I want to just go see a movie and turn my phone off. I just want to go to a concert and just listen to the music and draw the lines. I don't want to quit pursuing balance. And in business, yes, I am shifting. I'm changing everything, the way we do it at my law firm, the way we operate, our process, our systems, the people with whom we work. Everything is changing up for me. It is a complete shift. It is a complete and utter transformation of who I am. And it didn't happen overnight. It's taken time. It's taken a couple years just to get to the phraseology and the mindset to seek freedom from the legal matrix. The legal matrix never wants to let you go. This is what I'm trying to tell you all. This is what I'm trying to tell you, especially you law students, before you get sucked into this abyss of self-destruction. For you young lawyers that are pounding the hours away, and you're losing all semblance of body, of being, of balance in business, and you have no fulfillment because you're letting the matrix just drain you dry of everything to where you become the walking dead. The purpose of Escape the Legal Matrix, the purpose of Legal Warrior is to show you, to give you the skill sets and the tools and the phraseology and the mindset that you can live in freedom. You can be free. You can be free of the legal matrix. Some people will tell you that you can't. And you want to know why they're going to tell you that? Because they already quit long ago. They quit on themselves. I was just having this conversation, the other morning. My son, he's a young lieutenant. He's in infantry. And he's doing a mandatory time. I think it's a 12-mile ruck march. It's not fun, but he's infantry. With a huge rucksack and weight on it, and it's like 12 miles, and they have to make it in a certain time. And he communicated to me that he was in extreme pain. He said, I only have I think a mile and a quarter left. I'm in extreme pain, my hip. And of course, it is painful. And those kind of things, it'll wear and tear on your body. And I text him and I said, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't give up. And he made it. And he made it in the time. But it was physically demanding and physically painful. And things in life are going to be physically painful, emotionally painful, spiritually painful, mentally painful. I mean, it's all going to be pain. There's going to be pain involved in order to get your freedom. And again, don't live in shame and guilt. There are some things you should quit doing. You should quit being a drunk. You should quit doing illegal drugs. You should quit, navigating to certain sedations and things you shouldn't do. Maybe there's certain relationships you need to quit. There are some things and some people in life that you do need to quit. They're unhealthy. They're a path to destruction. But at the same token, you have to take that deep look in the mirror and you have to ask yourself, what should I quit doing? Who should I quit seeing? Who should I quit being with? What should I quit? And in the legal profession, there may come a day when you just say, I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit. But before you quit, give yourself a path to possibilities. Have a conversation with me about escaping the legal matrix, of changing your phraseology, of changing your skill sets, of changing everything to transform to be the best version of who? Of you. I'm doing it. I'm not telling you to do anything I'm not doing myself. And it is a war. It is a battle. And there are days when I do think about quitting, and then I remember the scars from the pain of what I've been through in my life, and I'm like, I just can't go back there. Scars are reminders. They are reminders. And sometimes the scars are good because they remind you of where you don't want to go back to. Okay, so you have some homework to do. I want you to consider what we've spoken about. I want you to ask the better question again of what do you want? Just say, what do I want? Write it down and answer it. And write down, what is it you're thinking of quitting that you shouldn't quit? And then I want you to write down, what should you quit? What should you quit doing that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing? What people should you quit? What relationships should you quit? It's a really, really deep self-audit. This is a serious topic because those that have been extremely successful in life, that I have followed, that I have listened to, that I've seen, that I've learned so much from, the one thing they all had in common was this: they never quit. And I don't want you to quit either, and I don't want to quit. So, you know the deal. Ask those questions, answer those questions, and you will find yourself in a better position of when to quit, what to quit, who to quit, and also when not to quit. Okay, this is Bryce Denier coming at you from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Love and light, love and light. We're going to be signing off here until the next episode. You know how to reach me. You can reach me at brycedenier@gmail.com directly. You should have that conversation with me about escaping the legal matrix. So until the next episode, again, take care of yourself and love and light. Bryce out.